And for what purpose does the gentlelady from Tennessee seek recognition?
I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment offered by Mrs. Blackburn of Tennessee, page 10, line 7, after the dollar amount, insert reduced by $2 million. Page 62, line 9, after the dollar amount, insert increased by $1 million.
Pursuant to House Resolution 661, the gentlelady from Tennessee and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring a very simple amendment. As the clerk read, you saw it's just 2 lines. Let's reduce another $2 million of that IRS enforcement account. Let's move this over to help another federal agency do its job, because we've had one agency that is making life difficult for taxpayers and business owners, and now let's have an agency that is supposed to be doing their job. Let's make certain that they do it. What we are doing is redirecting this $1 million over to the CPSC, Consumer Product Safety Council budget, for third-party testing relief to assist them in completing and meeting their statutory requirements. What has happened? In August 2011, Congress passed an amendment to the CPSC Improvement Act mandating that they identify ways to reduce the third-party testing burdens that are facing our American businesses. Now, that was to reduce the burden. After soliciting comments in November of 2011, CPSC staff identified 14 ways which this could be done, and in October of the following year, 2012, they approved 8 of the 14 recommendations, suggesting ways that the Commission could move forward. However, as we stand here 2 years later after that period, I'm sure few are surprised to hear that CPSC still has not followed through with this mandate. In fact, the only action taken thus far has been a single workshop held on April 3rd to identify materials that may not require testing. In fact, the only action taken thus far on these approved recommendations has been to solicit comments from industry on 3 separate occasions and to hold 1 workshop. It is clear that the agency has placed the requirements of burden reduction on the industry, not on the bureaucrats at the CPSC. This is important to note why Congress passed our CPSC amendment in the first place. Our current economic situation is indeed dire and was then, continues to be. The American people depend immensely on our American businesses to provide jobs. Even more so, the American people are depending on us to help create the environment that will spur jobs growth. The third-party testing burden hinders the ability of these companies to hire more employees and to expand their product lines. It hinders the ability of these businesses to grow the economy. It is detrimental to our workforce. Additionally, the testing hinders Americans who own small businesses, as they are the ones who are having to absorb these extra costs. The Commission claims that these third-party testing regs are paramount to our safety, when in fact our domestic industries spend millions of dollars each and every year on unnecessary testing, including on materials known to never contain harmful chemicals. Congress recognized this back in 2011. We took action. We expect the CPSC to follow through and to take the necessary actions. It's been 3 years since the mandate went into effect, and it is time that we encourage the CPSC to get their act together and to move forward with the implementation on the mandate. And I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlelady from Tennessee.
Okay, I will go ahead in the interest of time. I think it would be instructive to my colleague to realize what we are doing is saying the agency doesn't have the right to continue to cherry pick. 14 suggestions 3 years ago. We've been waiting for 2 years. They've said 8 were approved. What we have is businesses who would like to expand the business, businesses that would like to bring American products to the American marketplace, and the third-party testing burden is placed on these businesses. The CPSC is not doing their job to create the right environment. I would encourage everyone to support this amendment. Let's make certain that these agencies do their job and work with the industry to be certain that we create the environment for jobs growth to take place in this country. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentlelady from Tennessee. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.